What do you make of growing MAGA support for the war in war in Ukraine, sorry?
Could Donald Trump's latest Oval Office response reveal where the MAGA movement is heading? That's the question making headlines after a reporter asked whether growing support for Ukraine within MAGA could influence Trump's position. Instead of answering directly, Trump quickly shifted the focus, saying, "MAGA supports what I support," making it clear that he believes the movement still follows his leadership. Rather than discussing Ukraine or the recent meeting between conservative activist Laura Loomer and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump redirected the conversation to domestic issues. He spoke about election integrity, voter ID laws, proof of citizenship, and what he described as problems with the U.S. voting system. In doing so, the original question about Ukraine was left largely unanswered.
Well, I think they support what I support. You know, we just had a complete win in Arizona. The young gentleman who's Harry Enton, I believe his name is, the pollster, said Trump's 100% favorable. He gets everybody he endorses wins, which is pretty much true. Everyone I endorse just about wins. So there seems to be a natural bond between me and MAGA, but I'm the one that created MAGA, and I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else. You know, MAGA knows what MAGA wants, and MAGA is very happy. They want to see this done, and they're not going to be happy if it's not done. Make America great again. It's all about make America. You know, we started that a long time ago. But the concept of not approving voter ID or not approving proof of citizenship, and I won't even get into the ballot thing because, you know, we'll hold that maybe for another time. I think the two are 97, 98% issues. I think the ballots are 75% issue. But even at 75, they should do the ballots. The ballots are in many ways more important than even the first two. But they're a little more controversial because some people don't want to go and vote. But most great Americans want to go and vote. The corrupt ballot stuff that you saw that with the recent election in Los Angeles, the mayor's election, where the young guy, I don't know him, I came to the office recently after he lost, and they find all these ballots all of a sudden out of the,
Supporters see this as a classic example of Trump's America First approach. They argue that his priority has always been strengthening the United States before becoming more involved in overseas conflicts. Critics, however, say the moment avoided an important foreign policy question and left uncertainty about how a future Trump administration would approach the war in Ukraine. Whether you view it as disciplined message control or an effort to avoid the question, the exchange highlights Trump's consistent political strategy: keep the spotlight on domestic priorities and reinforce his personal leadership of the MAGA movement.
He came down from heaven, hundreds of thousands of ballots. Isn't it wonderful? He had no chance of losing. You know, Spencer Pratt. He had no chance. He was going to be in second place or first place. But I saw it happen. I said, oh, he's not going to win. He had to beat somebody. He was way up on a person that nobody ever heard of, a young woman who nobody ever heard of. She cried that night that she lost. But all of a sudden, time went by, and the election's long over. And I heard a report that Spencer Pratt's not doing that well. I said, what? She's going to lose. And he lost. It's crooked. We have crooked elections in some places.
What do you think? Should Trump have answered the Ukraine question directly, or was he right to focus on issues at home? Let us know in the comments.